Hi, welcome to day number 84 in our Route 66 journey through the Bible. We are finishing up with the book of Judges. Kind of an odd time in the history of Israel, the history of God's people. Didn't really have a leader, no king. They got into trouble and God would raise up somebody to help them out. So we're closing this out with some strange stories. We're in Judges 20 and 21, 2 chapters today. Yesterday's reading, we read about just kind of a really bad situation where somebody got themselves into it and there was some immorality going on and a lady got killed and the guy cut her up and sent parts of her all around and gathered the tribes together, the group together. And after this terrible crime in Gibeah, the other tribes decided that they would bring justice. And so they went to the tribe of Benjamin and says, you need to hand over the guilty people. The country of Benjamin, the group of Benjamin, they refused, and they decided that they were going to defend these people, and a civil war broke out between the rest of the tribes and Benjamin. But when we say Benjamin, it's named after a person, one of the sons of Jacob, but they were the tribe or the family or the clan of Jacob or of Benjamin. And so the Israelites fought against them for several days. At first, they lost a lot of men. Benjamites were very good fighters, but after seeking God's help, they finally defeated them. And so that's in chapter 20. Now, what ended up happening, so they defeated them and almost annihilated the tribe of Benjamin, almost wiped them out. And they realized we almost wiped out a whole tribe of our own countrymen, our own brothers. And so they were sorry. They tried to find ways to survive. Since they made a promise that they would never marry into the tribe of Benjamin because of what they have done, they had to find somebody that didn't fight with them. And so they found Jabesh Gilead was a community. They hadn't joined in the fight. So the Israelites attacked the city, killed everybody. The surviving women became wives to the Benjamites. And later on, the rest of the Benjamites, men that didn't have any wives, they took more wives from this festival at the worship center of Shiloh. And it's just you can't make this stuff up. It's just weird how things happen. This was their way of allowing the tribe to continue. They found wives so they could have children. And we find out that Benjamin is where the tribe of Saul, their first king, actually comes from. It was strange and just odd. So what are some lessons that we can learn? This is, again, some of those lessons that we maybe not want to learn, but we learn the hard way. One good lesson we can learn is when we ignore sin or defend wrong actions, it can lead to destruction. The Benjamites should have turned over these people for what they did to this woman. They should have, and then have a trial and decide if, what happens after that. But they decided to defend sin, and that's not good. It's important to take a stand for what is right. Seek God's guidance for sure in how you handle it, but you should never defend sin or defend a sinner. You should always make sure that they are treated according to God's law. A second law that we find out from Judges chapter 21 is when we act, even we think we're doing the right thing, but we don't think it through. We don't realize the consequences. It can lead to bigger trouble. The rest of Israel decided to attack the Benjamites, and they just went and they almost annihilated a whole tribe. Sometimes we go too far, but even in messy situations, God's mercy and grace can still come in, and we can find hope and restoration. These final chapters, I'll tell you what, they show that how far the people fell and how far we can fall when, according to the last verse, everybody does that which is right in their own eyes. You ask me why I do anything. I think it's the right thing to do at the time, and that can lead to trouble. You need to find some rule, some law that isn't arbitrary, that isn't according to the way I feel, and that's God's word. We should always do what God says. follow God's truth, make our decisions according to Him. His mercy is there when we mess up, but we still need to do the right thing. So, a couple of good chapters.